Hello, everyone. So we're gonna try something different because, oh my god, look at this curly Q. Sorry, I got distracted. We're gonna try something a little bit different because I usually use something else to record, but I'm trying my editing app to record because I didn't realize I had this feature, and I was like, why not just record from the editing app instead of recording, uploading to the editing app, editing, and then all that jazz. So I was like, goodness gracious, let me just record straight up, and if I need to edit it, I can just do it all in the same app. Makes sense to me, right? I don't know why I didn't think of it, but that's fine. So I wanted to talk about how life has been in Texas, because I have officially been in Texas and have also have lived here for a full year. So I think that's insane to me because I literally feel like I just moved down here yesterday and had nothing and was putting together my bed and all of that jazz. I literally I can't comprehend how quickly time went by. It's absolutely insane to me. But I'm going to talk about some places that I've eaten at, things that I've done, what I like here, kind of stuff like that. So let's get started with food because I'm really feeling this. I have grown a bigger appreciation for ramen. I've tried multiple ramen places, including if I say this incorrectly because I'm white and I'm not cultured, clearly, my apologies. Bira ramen is really, really good. I tried this one place that had it, and granted, again, white girl taste buds, so it was a little on the spicy side for me. But I just put in some citrus juice, some lemon juice, lime even, and I was good to go. I was like, okay, I can kind of handle this now. And then I tried what's called Jinya Ramen Bar in San Antonio. Loved that. There was also a place called Charity Bar that I really enjoyed, and I had an amazing bowl from what I remember. I went a couple times, and every time Charity Bar just serves so well. They are just, I can't explain it. Barbecue. I have not tried Bill Miller's. Some people say it's the most amazing thing ever. However, everyone that I personally know thinks it's trash. So I have not tried it. I've tried Terry Blacks, and I've also tried the other place in New Braunfels. I can't think of the name. Does not come to mind, but Black's is my favorite, and that one's in Austin. So good. What else? Mexican food. I've definitely tried quite a few. Those that are gonna probably laugh at this, but the first place I tried was Chewy's, because my friend had introduced me to it. Now, I have since veered out, and my girlfriend has definitely helped me with that. So I've gone to a couple other places. I'm not going to say this is the most authentic, but I do like Iron Cactus because they introduced me to using orange in guacamole, and I really like that aspect. So I like Iron Cactus for that, and their food really isn't that bad. But there are a lot of taco places, and I feel like I keep trying more and more every week. I love Torchy's tacos, hillbilly queso. That is top tier to me. What else, my dude? Oh, there is I'm looking at it right now. There's this burger that I tried, but I can't remember where it's from. all I remember is it's on the Riverwalk. So let me double check. Because I live close to the Riverwalk currently. I won't anymore soon. But there was this amazing, like, bar that had... Oh my god, why can't I think of a name? Something, I feel like it was something tavern. Let me try and look for it. But the reason why I liked it so much was because it just had a vibe that is like inexplicable, and they had like under, like on this, like, I don't know if it was technically basement because you could walk out onto the Riverwalk, but there was like a first floor, and it was kind of like dark bar chill vibes, and then you go upstairs and it's the restaurant. That place was called, I'll find it over here somewhere. I wonder if I don't do restaurant and I do bar, if I'll find it. Let me try bar. Okay. Still nothing. Oh my god. I know I'm gonna find it somewhere. If I think of the name, I'll come back to it, but right now I'm just not finding it at all. And I'm not sure why. I've tried, I'm just looking, so I'm kind of going everywhere at this point. Hold on, my computer's gonna die. I'm so dumb. Okay, I am back, and it's called the Esquire Tavern. That place, bomb. Anyway, I've went also to quite a few bars, and I want to talk about those because if you are 21 and up and you're able to drink, there's some places that I've tried that I've really liked. Double Standard, don't sleep on Double Standard. I enjoy it. I love the vibe. It's amazing. Let's see. Coyote Ugly, I finally went when I moved down here. I went to Pat O'Brien's in New Orleans, but I want to try the one here in San Antonio, just because I want to see if the vibe is the same or what. Where else have I gone? I feel like I went into another place down here, but I can't think of what it was called, which is fine. I'm kind of doing this without notes, and I really wanted to do notes, but the problem is that I had like no time to sit and like write notes, which is why this episode literally took me like 2 weeks to record, which I do apologize for. I'm usually on top of my game when it comes to podcasting, but I just keep forgetting to like actively set aside time, and I finally have time, so I'm like, I'm gonna do it. But okay, I know this isn't a bar, but Shipley Donuts I tried for the first time, which was really good. Let's see, let's go down here. Box Street Social, amazing place for like breakfast brunch. Such good food. Maybe a little on the pricey side, but I'm still all for it. I tried Yard House. Yard House is pretty interesting. I feel like maybe the beers is where it's at. The food was pretty good. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst, if that makes sense. I tried Texas de Brazil. I tried, what else? I tried the other one that's in the River Center. Not my favorite. Just saying. Let's see. I feel like I've tried a whole lot more places than what I can name, but I have to say that, like, this place, San Antonio, is foodie central, and you can always try something new. So there's definitely a lot on my list. There's places I still want to try. I've tried like beer gardens. I've tried like brunch places. There's definitely a lot more that I'm not naming that I've tried, so forgive me, because there's so many different places to try that I'm like, I can't possibly even name all that I have because there's just so many to name. I do try my best to go to places. I want to go to like chains. Like I've been to churches. I've been to like Whataburger, stuff like that. Places I haven't tried that are chains, In-N-Out. I've been to all of those places just to like kind of check it off my list and be like, yep, I've been here. But I want to go to those like niche places, right? There was like a niche soul food place down kind of by the south side. I can't think of the name right now, but let me quickly search soul food and I bet you I can find the name. Tony G's, and that was pretty good. I feel like everything there is fried. Not everything, but a majority of the meats especially are fried, which, not that it doesn't surprise me, but just that I wasn't expecting it more so, because my girlfriend was the one to go pick up the order, and of course she just brought it home, so I was like, oh, like, this steak is fried. I was like, that's pretty cool, and she was like, I didn't even know that it was. But I can definitely say San Antonio is foodie central, and also, I feel like the more you go towards Austin, they've also got pretty decent food. I've definitely tried quite a few taco trucks, coffee trucks. I'm trying all of the coffee places because, with all due disrespect, I cannot be drinking Starbucks forever, and I don't want to either. For the past, goodness, it's probably been since I moved here, but even beforehand, because I had a Keurig beforehand, but for a long time I've been making coffee at home. But when I venture out, I want to try like the cute little coffee shops that are like one-offs or mom and pop shops, stuff like that. Of course, I've tried Dutch Bros, I think, and On the Grind. Is Dutch Bros, I feel like Dutch Bros is what I'm referring to and what I'm talking about, but now I have to double check. It's like is it like a windmill? Yes, it is Dutch Bros. Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. So I've definitely tried a shit ton of food. I've went to Zilker, which I'll be going for ACL, and I'm really excited about that. But we went to Zilker's Botanical Garden. I have to say it could have been this season, but I do take pride in San Antonio's Botanical Garden. That's definitely where it's at. I've been on quite a few like nature walks, and I do enjoy a good nature walk. It kind of sucks that there's nowhere to hike, but at the end of the day, as long as I'm outside and walking, I'm all for it. However, Texas is hot, so I can't always go out and go walk. But if I could, I would. I feel like I definitely did not take advantage of the Connecticut terrain when I was there. I did try to hike, and I kind of got more into hiking before I left. But it's okay. You know, I probably won't stay in Texas forever. So there will be mountains wherever I go, hopefully. I say that as if I don't know where I want to go. But I definitely do enjoy the outside. So living in Texas is a little rough in the summer, but at the same time, it is what it is. Where else have I gone? I went to, it's the really popular one that I can't think the name. Oh, you know what? I bet you if I go on my TikTok, I had posted it. It's near Austin, but not quite. Or is it near Fredericksburg? Let me see. Enchanted Rock. That's Fredericksburg area. I took a day trip to Fredericksburg, slept there overnight, and then stayed I definitely want to go back for more wine. Maybe not necessarily more shopping, because I feel like the shopping is very niche. And like, I have a t-shirt from there. I wish they had shot glasses, with all due respect. Like, I know it's a like a wine place, or like a wine town, but everywhere I go, I collect shot glasses. So I was very saddened when I could not add Fredericksburg to my collection. But I might have to do some research and see if like there's somebody out there that makes shot glasses for that purpose. So we'll see. Even if I had like a cute little like stemless wine glass that was shortened into a shot glass per se, I might have to do some research. I might make my own. Who knows? We'll see. But it's kind of funny that I say that, because I have a San Antonio shot glass, but I don't have an Austin one. I don't have a Houston one, and I don't have a Dallas one, but I've been to all three. But I must say, for Houston, I stayed overnight. Did I stay overnight once? If I did. If I didn't, I drove back same day. For Dallas, I did stay overnight. I didn't do any shopping. I literally went for a concert. Same thing for Houston, so maybe that could be why. Austin, I've been there a couple times, but I've mostly been for concerts or drinking, or both. I've also been there during the daytime to have fun, but I've never went shopping. So either I'm going to A, order shot glasses online and just call it a day, or B, I'm going to eventually go there and, collect. But for now, I don't have that in my collection, which is fine, because my girlfriend and I are moving, and we're moving in together. So we're going to need to kind of have like at the least amount of stuff to move as possible. So I don't need to be buying a whole lot. I need to be purging a whole lot. So that's fine. What else can I tell you guys about Texas? Honestly, I feel like my seasonal depression is gone. I feel like I definitely appreciate being outside more, but at the same time hate it because it is so hot. But I just have to say, like, a little disclaimer: if you can afford to move out of your home state and start over, go wherever you're called to and just do it. Like, I obviously came here knowing Tori and Ty, and like that's how I started out. But like, even if I didn't know anyone, I probably would be a lot more depressed at the beginning of the move, just because like you don't have or know anyone. But I have built as strongly as I can my life here. And Larissa was a huge contribution, a huge part of that, because she became like my life, my world. And even though I'm struggling on the friend front, because it's hard to make friends in your 20s, especially when you work from home, like nobody, like that concept is just wild to me, that like it's so hard, because I don't go out, I don't meet people like out at bars, I'm really not in that scene anymore. And that I don't have anywhere that I work that I can like make friends with my coworkers. So it is a little bit harder to make friends. But I have to say, like, my friends back home have really been it for me, and I really do appreciate, like, even if it's just a little bit of communication with them, like, I'm, like, happy to talk to them, and I'm like, this feels good, because I do miss my people, even though I did what's best for me by moving out of Connecticut, because I was depressed. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel like I was living a good life. The rent is ridiculous there. Let's talk about that. But it was just like, I do miss my friends, I do miss my people there, but like ultimately we all do have lives and we move on. But at the end of the day, like, those are still my people till the end of this like earth. Like, I love them and they know that, and if they don't know that, then I need to work on that. But essentially, like, even though my friends are back home, like, they could text me, call me, whatever, and I might be on Do Not Disturb, but as soon as I see it, like, I'm gonna answer, I'm gonna talk to them, whatever. So long as I'm not killing my mental health, because I feel like I'm overstaffed. But let's not get into that. That's not what this episode is about. This episode is about like what it's like living in Texas. Like I said, it is lonely at times, and I do wish I would try harder to make friends. But I also have so many like goals and so many things that I want to do in life that maybe making friends wasn't exactly at the top of my priority list. Like, I really do enjoy podcasting, and I really do enjoy like spreading information, and there are certain podcasts where I'm not just, bullshitting with y'all. Like, I'm just chatting it up in this episode, but like there are some episodes that I really feel like I've learned a lot from just gathering content for y'all, and then like I'm talking to y'all about the content that the information that I've learned, and I'm turning it into content. And it's just like I really do appreciate, having and trying to provide a safe space by having these podcasts that y'all listen to, and then getting feedback from you guys on mostly Instagram, but y'all can message me on TikTok, whatever, YouTube, I don't care. If I see a DM notification, I will get to it. Like, so that's why I'm like, Instagram is the majority of what I've seen people message me on, but ultimately, like, I do like providing a safe space. I do enjoy talking with you guys and learning and growing with you. Like, I want this to be a journey we take on together. And also vlogging is like, I know I've probably talked about this way too many times on all of these podcast episodes, but like this is something that I've truly come to enjoy doing. And yes, I do give myself strict timelines because I'm like, no, I have to put out an episode. But I also like took some space for my mental health. Like for this episode, it's been 2 weeks since I've done an episode, even though I'm supposed to do one every week. I don't have to, but it's because I create these timelines for y'all, for myself, so I'm like, you can expect me, so that I am showing up for myself and I am showing up for you guys. But podcasting and vlogging are just such a huge part of my life because I enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy talking and venting in this form, in this way. I enjoy learning new things. I enjoy being creative when I'm editing and taking pictures and stuff like that. Like, I actually feel like this is something that I can do for the rest of my life. If I could make a living off of this, I would, I know it's very hard to make money off of content creation, but I do thoroughly enjoy it, and it's just something that makes me happy. So if one person watches this, if 1,000 people watch it, if 100,000 people watch it, at this point, like, yes, it would be nice, but it doesn't matter to me because I'm doing something that I enjoy, and that's what everyone should be doing. And I feel like it took a lot for me to find myself, but moving to Texas did help open up these things. I started going to concerts in Connecticut and slowly trickled that down to Texas because I was going to Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio for shows. So there were so many different hubs where these artists were going, and I was like, buy a ticket, buy a ticket, buy a ticket, buy a ticket, because why not? And I enjoy going to concerts. So that's why I'm like learning myself, and it feels good. And I think moving to a new place that is not your hometown can teach you so much, because not only are you trying new things, venturing out on your own, you're also doing a lot of things alone, and you're doing a lot of things because you want to do them. You're venturing out, you're trying a new thing in a new state, in a new city, whatever it is, and you're just straight up relying on yourself for all of this. And granted, I know us as human beings are almost wired to want to have a significant other or somebody by our side, whether it be like a best friend or something. Like, we are inherently dependent on each other in certain ways and in certain aspects. So I can't say like I'm entirely independent, because for a while, like when I did move here, I was dependent on Tori. I was dependent on whatever new friends I made because I wanted that communication, that social interaction. So when I didn't get it, I was depressed because I was like, I do enjoy talking to people, but at the same time, I'm an introvert, which makes it frustrating because I feel like when I talk to people, my battery gets drained. And Larissa was one of the few friends that I never felt drained. Like, I actually felt energized talking to her. So that's kind of how things progressed and became what they are today. But I fully do believe that everything happens for a reason, and that I've moved to Texas for a reason. And honestly, that reason, in my opinion, was to meet her, because I don't think I would have ever met her otherwise. But also, like, I wanted to be somewhere new. I wanted to be somewhere affordable for my pay range. And ultimately, like, this is it for me, for now, until I progress further, until I learn more, until I'm ready to work in a different field, or move up in my current field. Whatever life brings me in this future, I am open to it. I'm open to open doors, but I'm just, like, also trying to create my life in a sense. Like, I'm not just gonna let everything fall into my lap, because that doesn't exist. I'm a go-getter, and I have to work on what I want to go right. So I'm not just sitting here like twiddling my thumbs or anything. Like, I'm actively working on things and trying to find new projects, and working on my schoolwork, and working with my stepdad, and doing all of the things that I can possibly think of. And maybe I'm loading my plate a little bit too much at times, because I definitely get overstimulated and have too many sensory issues at times. But I'm trying my best with what I've got. And overall, I feel like if I would have moved without working on myself, I would have just transplanted myself to a new space and wreaked havoc. But to take time while moving to also be alone, self-reflect, literally what this podcast is about, many mistakes ago, just self-reflecting, thinking about all that I've done, the havoc that I've wreaked, the relationships that I've had, the relationships that I've ruined, everything, like, taking all of those into account and being like, you know what, like, I'm learning and I'm growing, and I'm taking those lessons not to heart but to mind, because, like, I have learned that I pour too much emotion into things at times when they just simply call for reflection and more mind stimulation. I can't think of the word. Like, I should be thinking with my mind and not my heart and my emotions. Rationalizing, using my brain to learn from it, instead of reacting and getting all sensitive and getting irritated, or whatever mood, those things have brought me. Ultimately, because I've worked on myself, and because I've tried so hard to get to where I am and not just move, without any work, I feel like I've had a more pleasant experience, because I'm not attracting these toxic relationships or toxic friendships anymore. I'm simply being who I am, just an upgraded version of myself, a better version of myself, a more caring, a more thoughtful, a more intelligent, a more lived in version, if you will. I've learned things, I've gathered wisdom, I know from my mistakes, I've acknowledged my mistakes, and I think that because of that, I've made my experience better, because I know what I want, and I know what to do, what not to do. I know what's good for me, what's not. I know what to accept, what not. You know, all of these things just make me realize, like, okay, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm human, and I'm definitely stuttering my words, but I know I'm human, and I can acknowledge that, but in the same breath, I feel like I've done so much that, not to say that I'm not going to work on myself, but I've done so much that I'm proud of myself for what I've done. And sometimes I forget to acknowledge that. So it's nice. So if you're working on yourself, I just want you to take a moment and acknowledge how far you've come, how far of the stairs you have climbed. Because I guarantee you, you forget. You forget how far you've come. It's almost like being sober for like 7 years and something happens and you're no longer sober. You forget those 7 years of stairs that you've climbed because of a mistake. And that's okay that you've made a mistake, but don't discredit yourself. I feel like a lot of people, myself included, are very insecure and forget to acknowledge how good they've done in life. Like, we are literally just thrown onto this earth, thrown to the wolves, and like, we have to learn society. And sometimes we don't have parents to teach us the right things. Sometimes we have one, sometimes we have both, sometimes we have none, sometimes we have an adoptive or foster parent, but like, we don't all have the same life paths growing up. So of course, some of us are gonna deal with certain other things, like maybe trauma or abuse, or go through things that don't excuse our behaviors, but explain why we didn't learn certain things and why we're learning at 27 years old, or, you know, I'm like I said, our life paths are all different, and we all learn at different points, and we all experience different things at different points. So that's what makes us human, and that's what makes us who we are. And I'm not saying that to like excuse anyone. I'm saying that because I want us to have compassion for one another, especially when you can see them trying. If you can't see them trying, by all means, fuck them. But I feel like there are a lot of people out there, the more that I've like come to like learn with these episodes and learn things about people and learn what kinds of content I want to put out there, the more I've learned that there are so many people out there trying and like living day by day and like struggling to live, that I can understand how exhausting the world is, and I can understand like that's a lot of pressure. So that's why I just kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I just want to take a moment. I want y'all to pat yourselves on the back for how far you've come, because I don't think we acknowledge that sometimes. And again, I know that's not really what this episode is about, but I know if you're listening to me, like, you're not one of those people that are like full of themselves and like don't think they have anything to work on. Because like I said, I feel like my podcast, even though I do veer off topic and, you know, I have different types of episodes, the core of my podcast is self-growth and learning from mistakes. And like I said, I don't always talk about that, but that is the core of it. So I feel like if you're listening to certain episodes, it's probably because you want to learn something, you want to know something. Maybe you want to work on yourself, and I'm so proud of you for that. It's not easy. And like, I'm sorry, I love the self-help books, I love reading them, but there are some out there that are just exhausting. And sometimes you just want a real life experience, because a lot of these people that are writing books are therapists. They are, you know, a little bit more knowledgeable in certain subject areas, whereas I'm just a 27-year-old girl who has effed up in life and is trying her best. And I feel like, okay, maybe not the female or 27-year-old girl part, but a lot of us can relate to being thrown into this world and trying our best. And granted, I'm not saying therapists aren't like that. I guess we see them from a different point of view because they might have a more, I don't know how I want to put this because I don't want to dehumanize therapists. It's just that the self-help books that I've seen or read, and some of them I've literally just stopped reading because I'm like, yeah, I get it. I guess I'm just not grasping or wanting what they're putting out, or maybe I have grasped it and I realize like I'm a little bit further along in this area, or this isn't really what I'm working on at the current moment, whatever it is. Like for me, when I read Single on Purpose, that was me. That is exactly what I needed at the time I needed it. Whereas if I were to read it now, I probably would want nothing to do with it because it doesn't fit me. It doesn't fit what I'm working on. And I had read, what book was it? The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I had read that book. That book I ended up putting down because it wasn't what I was looking for in the moment that I was reading it. It wasn't advice that I was particularly keen on receiving. Whereas if I were to read it maybe 2-3 years ago, I probably would have eaten that book up. And it's hard because, I pick up these books and I get interested in them. Sometimes books sit on the shelves, whatever the case may be. But overall, like, I feel like the books are stuck on certain topics, and that's what it should be. But I feel like my podcast, I feel like a lot of people that do podcasts in the self-help world, I like that, or I like when they're more broad, because we are all human, and I'm not always going to want to talk about being single and how life is being single. I'm in a relationship now. I can't relate to that, and I try to relate back to when I was single, but I'm evolving and growing as a person, and as we all do. And I think the reason why I like doing my podcast and speaking out about different things and having different topics and having a more broad spectrum of what I talk about is because there is an episode for everything. Maybe not everything, but like I just like being able to talk about different content and different topics. Whereas if I had limited to myself to one topic, a very niche one, I feel like I would run out of things to say. I feel like I don't know what I want to talk about, or I probably said the same thing 5 episodes ago, So that's kind of why I like talking about different things and having the podcast that I have. And I think, or I should say, I hope that you guys feel the same way, because I'm doing this for us. Like, I'm talking to you guys, A, because I enjoy it, but B, because I want someone to listen to this podcast one day and think highly of it, and think either, wow, she really helped me, or wow, it's so nice that somebody relates to me. Whatever it is, like, I don't want to do this for null. I have hope that me sharing my story, and I think I've said this before, but I want it to reach someone, and I want it to help somebody. Even if it's just one person, it would be awesome if it helped a lot, if it made that kind of outreach. But even if it's just one person, at the end of the day, like, I know that I'm here for a purpose, as we all are. And the more that I grow older, the more that I think maybe my purpose is the fact that I've gone through, a shitty time in high school with bullying, with being in the closet, with struggling with self-harm, self-doubt, suicide attempts, all of that stuff. And I am still to this day out here living. I'm out of the closet. I'm happy. I'm in a whole different world. And I never thought I would live past 18. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that one portion. A lot of people don't expect to live past 18 or live past high school. And I can tell you, I did not end my life in 2012 when I was 16 years old. I tried to, and it didn't work. And as much as it pains me to say that I was at a point in my life like that, I am so proud to this day to say that I have lived, because even though life is not perfect, life can be fulfilling without being perfect, and I can be happy where I am at right now and also want more. Like I said, I strive every day to be a better person, and there's nothing wrong with that, so long as I'm also content with where I'm currently at, which I am, and I'm so thankful that I've done all of the things that have just made me happy, like moving, like starting over, like working on myself, like finding a job that feels more fun and fulfilling than the last one. There's so many different aspects to life where we can just take baby steps in the right direction, and life will be feeling or start to feel great. So maybe this is your sign to pack up and move. Maybe this is your sign to think about it. Maybe you need a little bit of time. Maybe Sarasota, Florida is calling your name. Maybe LA is calling your name. Wherever, I promise you, I don't know why, but San Antonio was calling my name, and I'm convinced it's because of Larissa. I will never know, but I will always have that feeling. So, with that being said, I've got the day off, actually, today, so I'm gonna upload this episode and peace out, because I want to go enjoy it. But I just wanted to come on and just record an episode because I knew I would feel better after talking with you guys and feeling like I'm not restarting, but I want to get back on track with my podcast, because I do have so much to talk about still. So I'm really, really happy that I just put my mind to it and got this episode, done with and over with. And not to say that it's like a check mark off my list. In a way it is, but it's also, like I said, something that makes me happy. I like talking to y'all. I like podcasting. And I never thought I would say that, but I do. So it feels good to just do it, even though I wasn't exactly prepared. I didn't exactly have the content that I wanted to create, and that's okay. It's not going to be perfect because I'm human, but you know what? I still showed up and I still did it. And if that's all you can say, you should be proud of that. If you don't put in the best work, but you showed up, I'm so proud of you. I don't care if you didn't put the best work. I am proud of you for showing the frick up, because it is hard to be a human, and sometimes some people need to hear that. Especially the perfectionists. Hello, guys. I know you're out there, but all jokes aside, I love you guys very, very, very much, and I will see you on next week's episode next week. I promise. Love you.